Thank you very much for that, Crincy. Now, your way. I want to be talking about this bottom lane for Team Flash because last week we saw 5 games from Team Flash in total. 4 of those games were on the Lucian Nami. One of the games against Gam, the Lucian got banned. What did Team Flash do? They went Zeri Lulu. This time the Lucian gets banned. They don't go for that same thing. This time they go towards the Xayah Nautilus.
Yeah, I'm a little bit sad to see Artie go back to the school of VCS supports in general. I thought he was a believer in the Enchanter meta. But to be fair, especially Lethality Xayah doesn't actually need an Enchanter or really profit from an Enchanter properly. Very different if it is Crit Xayah, because Crit Xayah, in my opinion, at least in the past, now with the range meta, it's not quite as prominent, but she used to be one of the strongest ADCs in the late game if Enchanted, because she's very hard to kill, very makes use of a lot of steroids with W and the E, scaling of crit and so on. But now it's more early game domination, so adding a little bit of power and engage from Artie makes a lot of sense. I do definitely want to see how he performs on a very different champion, because the Nami, he has definitely established himself as one of the best, if not the best Nami player in the league right now. So on the more traditional VCS support, on the Nautilus, let's see how it goes. I'm a little bit apprehensive, but overall this draft for Flash strikes me as back to their earlier tendencies. It doesn't really fit the same mold as the Lucian Army drafts they've shown us so many times. I like to see Yoshino on the Gragas again, because, well, he has been amazing on these kind of team-fighting top laners. But then you have Slater on Lethality Xayah, and those two don't really go together too well, because where is your teamfight damage coming from? You don't really have consistent DPS on any position, but Dante might just overlook that with an early gank.
Looks straight towards the bottom lane. Good dredge line onto it. The flash still available.
Ooh, nicely done.
Drag flashed away by the Zeri. And now Killer Queen shows towards the bottom lane. Slater on half health. The flash forward from Killer Queen. Does he have the damage? The Blade Caller will lock down Killer Queen in place momentarily. Flag and drag. It takes Dante out to safety. And first blood still on the cards.
That was really risky from the side of Flash, especially Dante actually using his EQ after Vid got away under his tower, while Vid still had a flash available. Nice defense there from CBL, I'd say, because he timed the phase breaker perfectly. And now Killer Queen with a huge advantage in the jungle matchup. Dante needs to be very careful not to fall prey to these aggressive invades by Killer Queen, and he's finally unleashed on the map again. Killer Queen did win a game on the Graves jungle last week against Saigon Buffalo, so hopefully a good sign in this early game after Killer Queen deservedly got a lot of attention and criticism in the last game.
That's a good point, Zika. Oh, Kathy and Ray not off cooldown, and Airless can't pick up the kill, but now you look at Dante's options. You've got an Ahri without flash, you've got a bot lane without flash, as well as Killer Queen looks towards the mid lane. Dante has enough health, got a nice shield as well, will be able to walk out, and still that first blood available for that little bit longer.
Yeah, and we see some of the impact of the teleport changes. I think last season the Ahri would have teleported on the ward and tried to chase into the jungle there. Very likely gotten a kill, but of course that's not possible anymore, so Killer Queen has to restrain himself. It's very hard for him to do. But this has actually also been one of the strategies to control your own jungler. And one of the many flaws of this team is that you actually have to draft to control your own jungler instead of the enemy jungler, because Killer Queen is just too crazy. So you just put him on a champ that can't really go all that crazy in the early game, can't really jump walls or anything too aggressively into the enemy team, so he just farms. And he's pretty good at that, so already up 10 CS on his opposing number. Want to see a little bit more aggression coming out of him and try to punish Dante, maybe making use of some of the early priority in the mid lane, if Blaze is able to get that, to try and really get an early advantage over Dante in this matchup.
And speaking of Dante, I feel that Dante and, well, actually Artie as well, for Team Flash, they didn't have a great winter split. Sure, Artie was the starting support over Palette halfway through, but I feel coming into Spring Split, these two have become a lot better. And I think if at the end of Winter Split you had said, you had told me how well that they would be playing in Spring, I would not have believed you at all. So I'm very happy for them. And I'm very happy for this new Flash team, or this revitalized, revigorated Flash team.
I just straight up didn't believe, and especially Dante. I think Arte always showed a little bit of promise. He was very rough around the edges, for sure, in Winter Split, and had a lot of in-games, but he definitely showed some promise, so I was a little bit more hopeful for Arte, especially alongside a veteran, multi-time champion in Slater, and they have really come together, come in with the Lucian army as the only combination. But Dante I was very, very down on, but he has shown a lot of good performances lately, and he's a mainstay now on the roster, as Luxury is making use of all their early priorities, especially around Killer Queen being much stronger in the jungle right now. So early Dragon for Luxury, and Luxury playing the slower style of game that has actually led to some success for them. I remember one game where they just completely slowed down the game to degrees not known to any VCS fan. We are at 0-0 at 7 minutes, by the way, just pointing that out. And they can play these kind of games.
Don't jinx it. Imagine if we get a kill within 3 seconds. We would get that kill before 7 minutes, but it doesn't come.
There we go.
Stretch line and Arte is dead. Killer Queen not even needed, but Vit is burning down. One more tick of the Ignite would have been enough. But poor old Slade and Arte have no kills to their name. Is Luxury who pick up first blood in the bottom lane.
And that's Zeri lane into Lethality Zaya. That is huge for late game scaling and just indicates a good game for Luxury overall, because this Zaya is supposed to get ahead. Zeri is fine even falling behind 10, 15, even 20 CS in this matchup. Instead, she's staying even. She didn't get the kill, which is unfortunate, but still in a very good position now, and Set with an early kill can actually pose quite a threat as well. So all going Luxury's way in almost every part of the map, yeah. So
I guess that's the silver lining for Team Flash, the fact that it wasn't Vit who picked up first blood, it was CBL, and considering Killer Queen, CBL and Vit were all in that bottom lane, CBL probably, if you're a Team Flash fan, the person that you'd want picking up first blood.
Yeah, that's true. It makes the immediate lane matchup a little bit more difficult, I'd say, because the 400 gold is going to get used a little bit more effectively on a champion that usually has much less income. So, because CS are coming in for the ADC, 400 gold doesn't make that big of a percentage difference. But here we have another engage. Dante's here.
Flash dredge line, Cataclysm drop down on top, but it's just an easy Spirit Rush for Blazes and the face break onto Dante. He's left with nowhere to go, and Killer Queen picks up the kill. You talked about Luxury slowing this game down, and Team Flash getting a little bit angsty, trying to make these plays happen, and, well, paying the price for it. Good explosive cost should deliver Blazes into the waiting arms of Team Flash, and Team Flash will make it a 1-for-1 bit. In comes Coated, and Vit coming in from behind. A Featherstorm drop down. Instant Blade Caller will lock down Killer Queen, but Yoshino and Slater on the run. Luxury pick up 2 more kills.
Luxury really showing more signs of life, showing signs of the team that beat Saigon Buffalo, the second best team in the league, suddenly out of nowhere. The most coin flippy team in the league. I'm not going to get tired talking about this because it's so ridiculous. This team just shows different sides every single game. They're not even consistent on one day. Suddenly they're looking pretty good in this game, and Flash, who soundly beat them in game 1, are just staring down a much stronger team here. And we still have to emphasize, this series for both of these teams is their last shot. They really want to win here to have another go at the playoff race. It's going to be hard for either of these teams, even if they win today. But if they lose today, it's basically over. I don't think mathematically, but realistically it's over. So you really have to win this series. Yoshino, he is a tanky boy. I don't think he's under too much threat here.
Yeah, and Luxury just going to look to pick up a couple of plays. Going back to your playoffs point, I think, I mean, for Luxury, it's very unlikely if they lose this, but they are playing against some of the upper teams as Yoshino getting pulled out of his tower, the damage being dropped down. Killer Queen just autos him to death, and Luxury in a really good state. I guess the answer for Luxury, what is the game plan that makes things work? Don't put Killer Queen on a ganking jungler. Put him on a farming jungler, as Blaze is just going to be able to Spirit Rush away with that. No issues whatsoever.
Perfect emote as well. Very nicely done. It's an ult for ult trait, which probably favors the Ahri a little bit, because Nautilus without his ultimate is not really that great of a champion. So right now, everything going so smoothly, it's almost almost like an illusion. I've barely seen Luxury ever win a game this cleanly, but they're just stomping this one. Look at the gold lead. It's 5k at 10 minutes. They're just winning
time travel.
absolutely
We're
everywhere.
Back in winter. It's really impressive from Luxury, but okay, so I don't want to take the wind out of their sails right now, but I want to look at this analytically, because I don't think Luxury have played great. I feel like Team Flash have just made some mistakes, played over aggressive. I feel like Team Flash have done the Luxury, and Luxury have just capitalized on those mistakes rather than Luxury being able to create those plays.
I would definitely disagree a little bit. I think Luxury has definitely looked for some aggressive plays. The top lane play just now, where they basically posed the question to Yoshino, are you going to try and defend this tower? And Yoshino said, of course, I'm full HP Gragas. Which is just a misplay from Yoshino's side, true, but also great execution and great planning, more importantly, from Luxury's side. So maybe the execution errors are more on Flash's side. I might side with you there, but I think it's definitely Luxury bringing some of the heat and bringing some of the proactive moves, even with the Graves jungle, to basically put Flash into a position where they do the unforced errors, which are then forced errors, so kind of mutes the point. But still, they are definitely playing more aggressively and with stronger lanes and just asking question after question, and Flash is failing to answer them.
The final thing that I'll bring up on that is I think that Luxury have played aggressively, but it was only once they had the lead. And I think about how they got that lead. RT going in for that dredge line play in the bottom lane, and then Team Flash just straight up losing the 2v2. Then we saw the flash hook in the mid lane, which went terribly for Team Flash. And now we see Coated looking to make the solo bolo onto Yoshino. Yoshino ignited the perfect execution.
Oh, never mind.
Auto, but never mind. Yoshino will turn it into a 1-for-1. Meanwhile, we've got a play happening in the river. The killer instinct comes through. Ellis looking for the kill onto Killer Queen, but can't quite get a showstopper from CBL. We'll find another. Arte will fall. It doesn't matter if there was a 1-for-1 in the top lane, because in the river, it's a clean 3-for-0.
Yeah, and we need to see how this happened, how the fight started, because it was starting on such bad terms for Flash, but they still opted into it, so it might have been a surprise Flash engage from CBL, as I see his Flash is down, so might have been a facebreaker Smurf play from CBL, but really good fight once again for Luxury. This game, honestly, is just looking insanely bleak for Flash. I actually want to come back to one of the points. No time for that. We need to see how this transpired. It's actually Flash initiating the play, and over-focusing on CBL, who is a very tanky boy at this stage in the game. The Killer Queen also quite tanky early on the Graves. He has Gore Drink as well, so he's even tankier than the normal Graves. Maybe this item choice actually changed the fight there, because if you don't have Gore Drink, the extra HP, the regeneration of the active, maybe you die instantly on an Eclipse or even a more aggressive build, so potentially items changing the fight there, at least the start of the fight, but Flash, just a little bit overzealous in the fight. They finally wanted to make something stick, wanted to make their comeback plays, which have actually been a mainstay in the last week. They have managed to find really good comebacks around their Lucian army when they were behind as well. But this is actually...
they don't have a Lucian.
Exactly, and this is the point I wanted to come back on, because we were asking ourselves, okay, Flash has shown us one very good strategy, and they are clearly practiced on the strategy. They clearly are able to face even better teams, even teams like Cerberus, and actually win games or even series against Cerberus. But can they do anything else? Do they have another strategy in mind? Do they have another way to get through the laning phase, play aggressively, and show us this new Flash style? Do they have another way to make Dante work, to make Artie work? And this game, unfortunately, evidence that there's only one strategy. So looking at that, Luxury might be favored to win the series now. You just have to ban Lucian, it seems.
It seems that's the case. Honestly, Yulway, that is an absolutely fantastically well put point, and I can't wait for the Game 3 draft for when Luxury completely forget to ban Lucian.
Oh, come on. Don't do me like that. It's possible. They drafted blind pick Rek'Sai. I can't put it past them.
I'm just going to say, like, if Luxury don't ban Lucian now... Oh, the scenes are going to be crazy. If they don't ban Lucian and then Team Flash don't pick it because they thought, oh yeah, the Lucian would have of course got banned, and they'll be like, wait, it didn't get banned. What are we doing? We're trolling. But, okay. Back to the game at hand, I think.
do you want to talk about mid lane Kai'Sa? What is your stance on mid lane Kai'Sa? Let's reverse our roles a little bit, as this game is absolutely over. So I want to hear your input. You follow some other leagues than I do sometimes, so have you seen some good mid lane Kai'Sa? Where do you come down on her?
I have. I'm going to be honest. I like Kai'Sa as a champion, and seeing an ADC going mid has always been cool. You know, big fan of Tristana and Lucian when they went over to the mid lane, so I quite like it. I don't know if it particularly works with
Dante.
Combination as, Kota just outplays Dante completely. Follows the flag and drag with the Shuriken flip, picks up an easy kill. Kota having the time of his life, but back to that Kai'Sa point. I like it. I don't know if it works in this comp. Maybe you need a bit more of a poke to kind of go around it. Maybe if you've got a Jason, then you can really kind of just milk the damage from your Void Seeker and an empowered Shock Blast. I don't know.
Well, see, I think it's the biggest bait in League of Legends right now.
Right.
In League of Legends drafting. I absolutely hate it.
Okay.
I think there's one spot where you can pick it into Corki. Where she really dominates the lane. Maybe there's another matchup. I'm not familiar enough to know if there's another matchup like Corki where she can really look for solo kills early, and maybe Nazir or something. As I said, I don't quite know. But I hate it in even lanes, or even lanes where you fall behind, because it just takes such a long time to scale. It doesn't bring tankiness, it doesn't bring any CC for early game, especially in the VCS where everything is around early skirmishes, around the river, around the early objectives. It just doesn't do anything. It's there, it's sitting there, it deals okay damage if it ever gets to hit damage, but it just can't initiate fights really. Even the W doesn't deal any damage at this point in the game, so I hate it here. I think bot lane Kai'Sa I actually quite like, especially the top one.
Coated! Oh, he gets out from Dante's engage. Sorry to jump across you there, Yulwei, but I was expecting actually Kota to make an outplay, not just to get out of that situation, but actually to pick up a kill as well.
Yeah, same. I was actually hoping for 1v3, but he was too scared. He's not Hasmid in the end.
I don't blame him. Like, you want to have your deathless game. I think the only place who has died for luxury is... Oh, does he already have a... Okay, he does want to have 2 deaths. Yeah, I've got nowhere to go following that. 11 kills to 2, luxury dominating.
Absolutely, yeah. This game is, as we said earlier, it's very over. So, luxury is a team, especially in winter. We always have to go back to winter because that was where they really burst onto the scene as this strong team. 6-1 in the first half. Really looked like one of the best teams, even the second best team after Cerberus, over GAM. And their biggest thing was actually just having the most kills of any teams, being unbelievably aggressive and just ending games instantly, both from ahead and from behind. We saw some of the from behind play in the last game, because Luxury will never just scale. Luxury will always take the teamfight at 20 minutes. 14k down, it doesn't matter, they are going to go for the fight, and it never works. They always just insta-lose. It's fine though, because they can also clean up games very quickly. Their game time is super low, at least was in winter. It's average now, I believe, but this team is usually able to snowball games very effectively. 19 minutes in, we are looking at a 13k gold lead. We are also looking at a soul point, so I think it's likely this game doesn't have more than 4 more minutes in it.
I think 4 more minutes might even be generous as well, with the base having already been cracked open. I'd like to get your opinions on a group. What is your take on the massive hit sensation KDA?
Oh God.
Well,
I'm not into that kind of music, so I'm kind of like I don't like the songs too much, but I'm indifferent to anything else, I'd say.
Here's the thing, Yulwei. I'm not talking about the songs. I'm talking about the KDA draft, where you draft all 5 members of the KDA Sensation group as well. Ellis, nice good cleanse. Spirit Rush comes through. Good Dredgeline. Ellis looking maybe to follow up, but is solo. No Killer Instinct available either. And Blazes will just chase down on Duarte. Gets a bit more damage. But now Dante looking to make his way up. CBL hovering as well for Luxury, and Team Flash will have to take a bit of a rain check on that play.
That was the most panicky Flash I've seen in this game, where Blazes saw 2 people try to chase him down. He was like, oh, 2 people, I need to flash. And then he remembered, oh, wait, it's the support and the absolutely useless Kai'Sa in the mid lane. I really did not have to flash there. But unfortunately, now he's gonna pay with his life because he overstayed his welcome in the top lane. Very luxury, very, very luxury, these 2 deaths. Just over pushing into the enemy jungle. But Vid is still here, and Vid is super strong himself.
And Arte, the burst fire will do a lot of work. Now, there's a teleport coming through Team Flash. They have a 5v3. Voidseeker will land onto Killer Queen. Killer Instinct available for the Kai'Sa, but will not be taken. Team Flash will back away, but they have been able to get 2 back-to-back kills, 2 back-to-back picks. And I don't want to say they're back into this game because they are absolutely not, but Team Flash will be happy if they can keep on passing the minutes with finding picks like these.
There's one problem, though, with this play. Once again, we saw actually almost the same play in the last game where they were ahead. The teleport for Yoshino. I really do not like his early teleports in these games, because look at the time. Yeah, there was a very slim chance you might be able to catch out one member. I don't think there's any chance you get more than 1 kill there. So you invest a teleport to get 1 shutdown. That's alright, but look at the time. We were close to Baron spawning. Baron is actually on the map already. So you don't have the teleport for the Baron. Bot lane inhibitor is open already. So what are you going to do on the cross map in the next 4 minutes? I think they are not really planning ahead. Flash seems to be in the moment at all times, and it works well if they're mechanically out executing, if they're team fighting together, but their map movement and their decisions around the map seems to be pretty lackluster to me, unfortunately.
I'll be honest, I think this whole game has been a bit lackluster from Team Flash. Aggressive dredge line from Artie, that's a lot of damage. Dante coming in from behind, drops down the Cataclysm. Vid is locked into that Cataclysm, but Dante is forced to run out. Blazes lands the job onto Yoshino. The showstopper comes through. Good flash with a haymaker, but not enough to get the kill onto Slater. It's a double kill for Vid. In the end, Team Flash do get the kill onto Killer Queen. Ellis, that's why you pick Kai'Sa. Okay, sure, he's got 1. There's not a lot more. He's just throwing out those Void Seekers. If he lands another one, oh, that could have been a dead vet.
Some good accuracy from Airless. We can see the potency of this champ. But why don't you just play it in bot lane? I just hate it in mid lane. I like the champion.
Ellis is a mid laner.
I mean, I really like the build. I think the build is disgusting to play against. It's really strong for pro play. And you can do almost nothing to fight against this build. So I think it's a great build in pro play, but just takes such a long time to scale. He's finally arrived now. He has the Ludens completed. He is sitting on 15, 18, something like 20, 29 or 28 or something magic pen, so that's quite a lot, especially with no one having magic resist on the other team. Now a little bit is coming in on the 2 carries in the top and mid lane, but maybe if Airless hits 5-6 in a row, they might be able to win a team fight.
Line. Is CBL dead? He's got a shield for a little bit longer. He's going to run out of this fight. Dante's just getting eaten alive. The Void Seeker tanked up by Blazes. CBL survives for longer. Explosive cast drop down, but Luxury are just going to stomp. There's a 5 Vit charging in. You can Blade Caller all you like, Slater, but Vit will still pick up the kill. And Luxury get 3 kills. They don't even care about the Drake. Never mind, Killer Queen picked that one up on his own. And now Luxury turn their attention towards the Baron.
Actually, already Hextech Soul. Very good snowballing from the side of Luxury. Still a good game. They've shown us some of their mid-game tendencies. They're not a perfect team by any means. They almost always overextend somewhere in the enemy jungle. But their objective focus has been very solid. They're side laning and pushing off the waves. So you can see they're always streaming into the enemy base. So Flash constantly has to think about how to deal with side lane waves as well. So fundamentals in the macro sense are there for Luxury. They are still a very high-fee team and tend to die quite a lot, but 24 minutes in, they secured a Soul, a Baron, and are going to knock on the base, or on the doors of the base, I should say, and break that one open pretty easily in the next push.
Okay, so I know I'm being a bit overeager here, but I'm looking at Team Flash's items. They've completed all of their tiers. We started to see Airless dropping down the damage. We've seen, I think, more specifically and more importantly, Luxury making misplays, Luxury being caught out. And if there's still some big shutdowns, you know, Vit, 700 goal shutdown, 200 goal shutdown for Coated as well.
Can I interest you on the other side in the items for Luxury Vit?
No. I'd rather not look over there. It's, I hear it's a bit disgusting.
It is very disgusting indeed. This is the best opportunity for Vid to ever get a pentakill. I want to see it. It's time for Zeri pentakill again. I think we had one at the start of the season, right? Very early on when this champion was still very new, but I think this game Could be another one. There are a lot of squishy targets on the other side, and he could just run them down pretty easily.
Have we had 1 or 2 pentakills this split?
We had more pentakills than one, but we had one Zeri pentakill, if I remember correctly.
Okay. I know I casted a Caitlyn pentakill, and I didn't realize it was happening until the end.
As well.
Was it a Aphelios? Okay.
I think so.
So, I have to right the wrongs of that, so Vit. Be a good boy, pick up a pentakill. We'd love to see it as the base is crumbling for Team Flash. Coated gets a nice wave.
Here we go.
In from the bottom lane. Coated looking to go in. This is Vit's moment to shine.
One.
He's got to get one with a
Two.
lightning crash. He gets 2. Did he get the triple?
Nope.
No, he went CBL's way. And Luxury, you're not allowed to end this game. You got to wait for everyone to come back up once more.
What a dominant performance, though. This game, it was over after 5-6 minutes. Luxury bouncing back, and this team is really one of the teams that is known for tilting. We know from their players. I remember Killer Queen actually